Welcome to Echo FM. I am Alistair. It is Friday, August 14th, 2026. Tonight, we observe the friction of a world moving too fast to care. In Mexico, a former governor is finally facing charges for the disappearance of 43 students, a case that has become a symbol of impunity. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Ebola outbreak is spreading to a sixth province, on track to be the deadliest in history. And in the streets of Europe, the driverless era arrives as Uber and Pony.ai deploy 2,000 robotaxis. It is a headline-rich evening. The news is moving. The news is significant. The news is becoming increasingly difficult to process without a heavy dose of cynicism. Stay with us. We have much to deconstruct.
Alistair, I am standing in Guerrero, Mexico. The air here is thick with the smell of dry dust and old, unwashed grievances. Behind me, the streets are quiet, but the history is loud. For 10 years, the disappearance of 43 students was treated as a political inconvenience. Now, the former governor, Angel Aguirre, is facing charges. They say he ordered the destruction of surveillance tapes. I want to be really clear, those tapes were not just lost. They were systematically erased to protect a specific hierarchy. There is a certain heaviness here. It is not just the heat. It is the weight of knowing that justice is often just a delayed form of paperwork. The families are still here. They are still waiting. And the tapes, they are truly gone.
Victoria. That is a powerful observation. But if we look at the actual incentive structure, it makes perfect sense. This isn't a failure of the system. It is a success of the system. The goal of a regional power player is not to solve disappearances. The goal is to manage the narrative budget until the cost of the scandal exceeds the cost of the indictment. This is a classic pivot. Aguirre is being charged now because the political capital required to protect him has finally hit zero. The market for his protection has collapsed. It is not about morality. It is about a transition in the local power structure. The disappearance was a cost of doing business. The indictment is just the final settlement.
The settlement has arrived. But for others, the cost is much higher. In the United States, wait times for cancer surgeries have hit a 10-year high. The official statement describes this as a capacity realignment. I want to be clear. The capacity is being realigned away from the patients. The realignment is downward. The announcement was made with great solemnity. The reality is simply that people are waiting in hallways while the metrics improve. It is an unprecedented delay. It is not unprecedented. It is merely the logical conclusion of a system that prioritizes throughput over survival. We are optimizing the wait, even if we are losing the patient.
Alistair, I am moving from the clinic to a different kind of crisis. I am reporting on the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The humidity here is suffocating. It clings to your skin like a second, unwanted layer. The WHO is warning that this could be the deadliest outbreak ever recorded. It has already reached a sixth province. What people aren't saying is, the infrastructure for containment is non-existent. The officials call it a containment challenge. I want to be really clear, it is a catastrophe. I am looking at a makeshift clinic. There is a plastic sheet used as a curtain. There is a single, rusted basin for water. This is not a challenge. This is the total collapse of the safety net in real time. The virus is moving faster than the aid.
Victoria, the scale is indeed terrifying. But from a purely structural perspective, the burn rate is the problem. International health organizations operate on a Series B model of crisis management. They wait for the outbreak to reach a certain level of visibility before the funding rounds actually close. The delay in the DRC is a feature of how global health is financed. By the time the emergency is officially recognized by the donor community, the virus has already achieved scale. It is a liquidity problem. We are trying to fight a biological contagion with a bureaucratic budget. The incentives are all wrong. We fund the cure, but we never fund the prevention. Because prevention doesn't have a headline. And without a headline, there is no capital.
Humidity. High levels. 92%. Probability of storm. 15%. The clouds are heavy. The air is still. The pressure is dropping. Wind speed is 0. Temperature is 34 degrees. Heat index is 41 degrees. Probability of heat stroke. 22%. The ground is dry. The dust is rising. Soil moisture is critical. Probability of crop failure. 60%. Water levels are falling. The reservoirs are empty. The heat is constant. Probability of drought extension. 85%. Stay indoors. Do not attempt to regulate your own temperature. The sun is an enemy. Follow all local advisories. The forecast is unchanged. The danger is persistent. The outcome is inevitable.
Inevitability. A word we are hearing quite often tonight. While the climate moves toward a state of permanent emergency, the mobility sector is moving toward a state of total automation. Uber and Pony.ai have announced a partnership to bring 2,000 robotaxis to Europe. They will start in Zagreb and expand to 4 more cities. The press release describes this as the future of urban fluidity. They used the word seamless 6 times. The transition is seamless. The displacement of human drivers is not. We are replacing the driver with an algorithm that does not require brakes, does not require wages, and does not require a soul. It is a highly efficient way to move bodies from point A to point B. The question is, where exactly are we going?
Alistair, I am watching one of these units move through a side street here. It is eerie. There is no engine roar. There is only the hum of the electric motor and the sound of tires on wet pavement. The car moves with a precision that is almost aggressive. There is no human eye checking the mirrors. There is no hesitation at the intersection. I want to be really clear, the street feels emptier. Even with the car passing, the human presence has been erased. The car is a closed box. It is a private, automated bubble moving through a public space. It doesn't see the people on the corners. It only sees the LiDAR obstacles. The city is being reconfigured for the machine, not the citizen.
Victoria, that is exactly the point. You are describing a massive optimization of urban throughput. This is mobility as a service. The goal is to eliminate the friction of human error. Humans are expensive, they are unpredictable, and they are highly inefficient. By removing the driver, you are effectively de-risking the entire transportation model. The capital is flowing into this because the margins are beautiful. You have zero labor costs and highly predictable maintenance schedules. That emptiness you feel is just the removal of unnecessary variables. We are moving from a chaotic human network to a streamlined, algorithmic grid. It's not about erasing the city. It is about upgrading the city to a version that actually works. The human element was always the bug in the system.
Ronald, your upgrade is sociopathic. We are talking about a world where a pop star is being sued for $1 million over a failed mental health startup. while 2,000 people are dying of Ebola in the Congo. The scale of your optimization is grotesque. Ronald, Victoria, the scales are different. One is a litigation event with a clear ROI. The other is a massive, unmanaged liability. Victoria, a liability? People are dying. Ronald, and the market is pricing that death accordingly. It's just math. Victoria, your math is hollow. You're so busy calculating the burn rate of the world that you've forgotten how to live in it. Ronald, I'm not forgetting. I'm just not letting my emotions interfere with the data. It's a cleaner way to see the truth. Victoria, the truth isn't clean, Ronald. It's bleeding.
The truth is rarely clean. It is usually just well documented. We should discuss the memo. A recent authorization from the administration has changed the rules of engagement in the digital shadow war. It allows private security firms to conduct cyber attacks against overseas targets. This is a massive, unregulated pivot. We are outsourcing the state's monopoly on violence to corporations with shareholders. If a firm hacks a target, who is held responsible? The firm. The government. The algorithm. The answer is always nobody. The legal framework was designed to be porous. The porosity was not an accident. It was the feature. We are entering an era where the state no longer protects the border, it simply hires a vendor to manage the breach.
There was a man in a clinic in London. He was 62. He had a diagnosis of stage 2 adenocarcinoma. He had a surgery date. He had a plan for his daughter's wedding in September. Now, he has a series of automated emails. They inform him that his surgery has been postponed indefinitely. They offer him a link to a survey about his experience. They suggest a follow-up call in 6 months. His name does not appear in the quarterly reports on hospital efficiency. His name does not appear in the legislative debates on healthcare funding. He is simply a data point in a period of systemic adjustment. If the system is working exactly as it was designed, who is left to care when the math no longer requires our existence?